What is up, everybody? Is our debut episode, Setting the Edge, brought to you by Better Edge and 5 Reasons Sports. We are doing a football show. We're going to be usually doing it on Thursdays. This week we moved it up a little bit because of the Labor Day weekend. Here's what we're doing. Every week we're going to come to you picking a card of college football and NFL games. We're going to use the lines from Better Edge. It's one of our sponsors. Great peer-to-peer betting if you have not used it before. You can use our picks. You can follow them. You can fade them if you think we're complete idiots. We probably are complete idiots, to be honest with you. So as long as you're cashing tickets, that's what we're here for. Follow or fade, whatever you want. But we'll also be having competitions on Better Edge. There's a competition feature. It should be launching tomorrow for our competition because we're starting earlier in the week. The competitions, basically what we are going to do is you have to pick 10 different either sides or totals. And whoever gets the most out of 10 right will win the competition. You double up your money if you finish in the top 50%. So let's say we have 50 people in the competition. You finish in the top 25, you will double up your money. We can also do certain weeks where it's winner takes all. We're going to keep these competitions down around like $10, $5, so it's easy to enter. Very easy in terms of rules. We can do kind of a chase where, maybe that week you just got to beat Tony, or you just got to beat Andy, or you just got to beat myself. If 75 people do that, everybody makes money. If nobody beats us, then you don't make any money. So we're going to be doing some fun things with that. It's very cool. Better Edge, great place to do peer-to-peer betting. The difference between Better Edge and your normal sports book is that you're not betting against the sports book. You're betting against other people. And what you should know about sports betting is it's very hard to make money. So you're betting against people that are most likely to make money. So what you can do is you can name your own price. So if you don't like a line when you're looking at other sports books on Better Edge, you might say, you know what? I don't like -7.5. I want -6.5. And then you just got to find somebody that wants the other side of it. They want +6.5. And that's how you're going to cash money. I want to introduce my co-host first, and then we're going to jump right into the football. As we're doing this, we got our guest tonight. We're going to have normal guests every week coming in from different places, from basketball, football, different various shows and platforms. So we're excited about that. My first co-host needs no explanation. Tony Schwartz, NBA, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, my man?
Man, it's so great to be back. I was dumb excited to get back to making the show with you guys. Let's just get right into picks, right? Like, let's move this show along. Go say hi to Andy.
So we got to say hi to Andy. Some of you guys might not know Andy. Last year we did this show together on a different platform. We brought it to 5 Reasons. We got Better Edge in here. I think there is still some controversy. We're still trying to figure it out. But Andy did, I believe, win the competition last year. No, he didn't. He did.
Listen. I found a pick in that spreadsheet. I found a pick that Sean gave you that you didn't get.
Bro, but you're forgetting. I remember week 6, week 7, I picked Broncos over Ravens. Y'all never gave me that pick. And it's literally like there's evidence on the pod.
Nobody listened to that podcast. We're never going to find it.
Yeah, it's erased from memory. You can find him at Goated Marino. He's part of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We're going to be here every week. We'll have guests coming in, but this week it's just the 3 of us. And we're going to let Andy go first. So here's how the format's going to go tonight. We're each going to give you 10 picks. I'm sure there's going to be some overlap. We don't know who's picking what. We haven't talked to each other about this. It's a pretty small card this weekend. Next week, we'll add the NFL, and we'll be combining the 2 different sports. So, Andy, not necessarily what is your favorite bet, but give us what's your first bet. Kick us off with a winner.
With a winner. Everything I say on here is a winner, man.
Oh, man.
If you want to start off, let's start with a spicy one. North Carolina at App State. I got App State +1. Pretty much it's a pick 'em. I like App State because they're always keeping these games competitive. And with North Carolina losing Ty Chandler and Sam Howell in the same draft, there's a lot of offense you got to replicate there that they're going to miss. Plus, they're going to implement a new defensive scheme that their defense wasn't that good to start with. Now with Chizik that came back from retirement, like 5 years of not coaching, he's going to be a little rusty. This first game, I feel the upset alert. It's a pick 'em, but still, App State +1. Look out for Chase Bryce, their quarterback. I think he's going to have a big game against his defense.
Tony, do you have anything on that game?
I really love UNC -1. Like I love it. I love the direction that UNC has been going with Mac Brown. Andy's absolutely right. There's going to be some new coaching continuity here. My stepfather actually played wideout for App State, so sometimes it's hard for me seeing them on these cards because I always want to kind of go with the family, but no. I'm taking UNC -1. That was one of my solid locks, so it's fun that Andy started it there.
Well, somebody's taking it out this week. I don't have them on my list. I do agree with what Andy said, though. The App State is always one of those giant killers that you look at. I have a couple on my card that I feel the same way about, kind of those mid-major type teams that can come in and knock somebody off in week one. And there's a lot of question marks. That's the hard thing about week one in college football. You're talking about, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. You don't know what to expect, as much research as you can possibly do. All right, so let's have Tony go. What's your next play? So you got one there with UNC. What's next?
I got some really serious takes in here, some really hard, thought-out, educated plays. And then I just have pure gut. And I'm starting on pure gut. Listen, Utah State 41.5. Alabama's going to beat Utah State by 41.5, and that line's been moving.
Yeah, bro.
Give me Utah State plus 41.5. Give them to me. That line has to shock every single one of those players to their absolute core. I cannot imagine. And then I say this, and Canada blew out their opponent last night, and they were a plus 36 in FIBA basketball. But man, Alabama coming out week one after losing a huge crop of players and then decimating a team for more than 42 points. I like my odds.
I don't want to bring up bad memories, but I feel like, was it last year that Alabama in week? Yeah, remember. Andy. I'm not gonna go there, man. We're going to start off as friends, but just remember, Alabama week one, they can be a deadly, deadly matchup. But I don't have them on my card. Andy, you have any game in it?
I have this game on my card twice because this game that you're bringing back to my memory that I'm going to refuse, last year's week one, I remember on the pod, I was like, bro, it's disrespectful. You got UM plus 30 or minus 30, I'm sorry. Like, what is going on? And they whooped their ass by more than 30. It was terrible. What Alabama has done last year, 3 times, they've beat teams by 40 or more points. So it's not new for them. They got the Heisman Trophy winner coming back, waiting to go back-to-back on Heisman's, fueled by losing in the championship game to a team they should have beat, in their opinion. They beat them once already last year. These Aggies are not good. This Utah State Aggies are not good. So I'm going plus 41.5, Bama. And go with the over. I think Bama's scoring 60. I think Bama's scoring 60, brother, by themselves. Give me the over 62.5 on this game.
So Alabama minus 41.5, because Alabama plus 41.5 would be a lock.
Alabama minus 41.5, yes.
And then what was the over-under?
Over 62.5.
Got that. So that's 3 picks that you've given so far.
Yes, sir.
Got it. All right, I'm going to go to mine. I'm starting off on Thursday. Thursday, I got the backyard brawl. Pittsburgh, West Virginia. Game's in Pittsburgh. I have 2 plays on this game. I'm going Pittsburgh -7, which if you look elsewhere, it's usually -7.5. So you're getting a good line on Better Edge right now if you want to take advantage of that. And I'm also going under 51. Pittsburgh -7, under 51. Backyard brawl. It's a rivalry. They haven't played recently. Thursday night, both teams putting in a new quarterback. Obviously, Kenny Pickett's off to the NFL. Probably going to be the starter in Pittsburgh. West Virginia's replacing their quarterback. They got new offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh ran the ball nearly 60% of the time last year at Boston College. So that's why I'm leaning towards that under. West Virginia, they do have some holes in their defense. It is the first week, so it's really hard to kind of know what to expect. Pittsburgh or West Virginia, West Virginia's got a new quarterback, new running back, new receiver. Pittsburgh's got a lot of defense. That's why I'm leaning the -7. Usually when I go under, I like to take the plus points. So it doesn't correlate like I normally want to, but I'm feeling strong about Pittsburgh, and I feel better about the spread, but I like the under 51. I don't know if any of you guys did anything with that game.
Yeah, this is going to be really boring, but I'm taking both of those in my card as well. I have Pittsburgh, and I would, if you're betting other books, which you shouldn't, because obviously, I mean, look at this -7 line that we have on Better Edge, or most books it's 7.5. I really would take this line up to 8.5, 9. I think West Virginia losing their 6 best tacklers. It's the 6 best tacklers that they had on their team last year to the draft and aging out. It's going to be tough for them, but both of these teams West Virginia had the 37th ranked rushing attack nationally last year, and they're getting a coach that continues to like to run the ball. You're hearing some really good things about Keldon Slovis coming in for Kenny Pickett. They're saying that he's picking up right where he left off. But I'm taking the under 2. I think this West Virginia team takes a second to meld, and this Pittsburgh team takes a second to meld, and I don't know what West Virginia has for them. So this is a big under game for me, and that would be one of my locks of the week if I had to pick one.
Yeah, Desmond Howard picked Pittsburgh to make the college football playoff last Saturday on game day, which is wild. But I mean, you would have to feel strong about them to win this opening game, and it's just a touchdown. Now, if you get a little bit higher, I know Tony talked about going up to 9. That's fine, but if you start getting a worse line than that, then you got to start putting some caution in there and respect what West Virginia can do. Andy, did you have anything on this game?
No, I skipped on that game, honestly. I was a little weary on that one.
All right, so Andy, go with your next game. You got 3 in so far. What's your fourth one?
Fourth one, let's do Western Michigan versus Michigan State. I got Western Michigan plus 22. The Broncos usually come to play, and the loss of Kenneth Walker III and some other offensive weapons that Michigan State lost in the draft, it's good to hurt them. And I don't think their QB, Peyton Thorne, can perform the way he performed last year without that Heisman level running back right next to him. So I don't think Michigan State is going to impress that much. So give me Western Michigan plus 22.
Tony, you got anything in that game?
Nothing on that one, brother.
I do not either, but I will tell you, as a graduate of a MAC school, I went to Bowling Green. The MAC schools in those first opening games, it is very, very, very tough. They play teams tough. So I would watch out for Western Michigan, especially going against a Big Ten team. A lot of those kids that go to Western Michigan wanted to go to Michigan State. They wanted to go to Michigan, and they were undersized or whatever it was in the recruiting process. They didn't get there. So just watch out for that. I like that pick by Andy right there. Tony, go ahead.
I'm going to keep it in the theme of running. Arkansas is a team that loves to run the ball. Throughout most of their history, they've had dual threat running backs, sometimes double stacked, right? 63% of their plays last year came from the run. But Cincy was the 16th best run defense according to PFF, right? So when you get in those advanced analytics, Cincy was really good at stopping teams in their own conference from running the football. So this is going to be one of those games, right, that I think is going to be heavily in the ground attack. I don't know what kind of offense Cincy can really generate, especially first week of the season going through the air. I just love the under, and it's a low point total as it sits right now. But I just think this game ends up getting into the mud, and some of these 27, 28 points projected for this game on both sides of the line, I don't really see that. I could be wrong, but I would rather take my chances with an under week 1 with squads are figuring it out that run the ball a lot than I would on a spread here.
Tell me the total you got.
I think it was 50.5 last time I checked. But give me 10 seconds and I'll grab that for you.
Trying to pull it up also if I can beat you. This is on Arkansas, Cincinnati.
Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah. While you're looking that up, I have the spread. I have Cincy plus 6. I was really hoping by the time that we recorded this that it would get up to 7 being a key number. But I still trust, Luke Fickell's a hell of a coach. He was at Ohio State. Now he's at Cincinnati. They just went to the college football playoff. Obviously, they have to replace a lot of guys. Desmond Ritter's in the NFL over in Atlanta. They lost a lot from their offense. But I just still trust Cincinnati's got a strong program. Not that Arkansas isn't good, but they have to replace also. I'm leaning towards, I think, what is a better program. And I think Tony's right. I think it's a ground and pound, low-scoring game. And in that case, like I said before, I want to get the points. That's why I'm going Cincy plus 6.
Right.
That's one of my picks.
It was under 52.
Okay. So that would be Tony's fourth, correct?
Yep.
And we're going back to Andy. So go ahead.
So for my fifth, let's go with one of your teams you're pretty familiar with, Sean. Penn State at Purdue. I'm going all the way on the under on this game. I don't think either team is going to score more than 20. Penn State last year lived off their defense with that terrible offense they were running. And Purdue was not shabby on that side either. Top 30 in all of college football in points per game allowed. This game could go either way, but it's definitely not going to be a shootout. This is my bet the house of the week. Under 54.5. Purdue versus Penn State.
It's a good one, man.
So for those of you that are new to our show, the Bet the House special, it is where we encourage irresponsible gambling. And Better Edge does not encourage that. But me and Andy, Tony's not part of this. Tony likes responsible stuff. But Bet the House specials, that's where you got to go hard. Normally, you bet 1 to 5% of your bankroll, 1 to 5 units, as some people will say. This is where you go hard. Like, this is like bet the money that you don't have because you're going to win. It's a lock. Andy's telling you this. Penn State, they have a new defensive coordinator. You know who their defensive coordinator is, Andy?
No, but you do.
Manny Diaz.
Oh, yes. He went there. Oh, yes, he did.
I hope you don't have a nice house if you're betting it on Manny Diaz. But I trust in Andy. I know he's done his research. It's a Thursday night weird Big Ten game. I like where he's going with that under. Tony, do you got anything on that game?
I do not.
I do not either. I'm going to throw one out there since I'm only at pick 3 and you guys are starting to race ahead of me. The next one I went with is Oregon and Georgia, one of the premier games this weekend. I definitely have no doubt in my mind Georgia is the better team. And if you're telling me if I'm picking a side, I'm picking Georgia. But I think 17 points is a lot of points. There's a lot of weird connections in this game. Obviously, Oregon's getting a new coach. Dan Lanning came over from Georgia. I think he was a linebackers coach at Georgia, so there's a connection there. Bo Nix is going to be their starting quarterback. He was the quarterback at Auburn, so he's familiar with playing Georgia, which could be kind of a good thing, but also maybe a bad thing because I don't think he necessarily lit it up against that Georgia defense. Georgia's amazing. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the country. Their defense is unreal. They bring back Stetson Bennett, defending champs, obviously. I just think in a first game type scenario, Oregon still has a good defense. They're going to have to figure it out offensively. They've got a new coaching staff. I'm going to lean into 17 points being too many points. I think it's more around like a 2-touchdown or 10-point win for the Georgia Bulldogs. So I'm going Oregon plus 17. Does anybody have anything on Georgia and Oregon?
I was really scared to bet the points on or to bet a spread on this game because I'm with you. It's a little terrifying knowing that we've had coaches that have coached on the other staff. It's just week 1, that kind of thing. But what I do love in this game, if you think that Oregon can get that plus 17, I feel really good about saying I'm pounding the hell out of this over. And I'm looking for the line. I really can't find it, right? There's so many games that night.
2.5. That's what I bet under, actually.
52.5. Slap that over, man. Because while Oregon has a bunch of talented defensive players, I think they had 2 all Pac-12 defensive players, right? That skill, 2 linebackers, that skill doesn't really translate when the other team is just 100 pounds heavier than you by average. Like, there's just a ground and pound element that Georgia has, an athleticism element that goes with it because they're getting some of the best athletes in the world right now. I actually do feel like Oregon's plus 17 could hit, and originally that was my bet, but I feel a little more comfortable saying that I think the points are going to go over in this game, and Georgia's going to get a huge majority of them.
I like it. Andy, did you have anything on that game?
Yeah, I had the under. I went the opposite of Tony. Between the 2 defenses, there's like 6 first-round defensive picks.
Yeah,
potentially for the 2023 draft. So Georgia can score, Oregon can score. Bo Nix, he wants to get in there next year, make some noise for himself for the NFL. But I just feel this is going to be a defensive showdown, not to the level of Penn State Purdue, but I would still hit under 52.5.
All right, Andy, go ahead and give us. Oh, go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to say, Bo Nix definitely has opportunities to score the ball, right? Especially when they get him mobile. So This is a really good game. I don't know how you guys feel, but this is probably one of my favorite games to bet this week. I feel good about the spreads and the point totals.
Yeah, and just keep in mind, this game's being played in Atlanta Saturday night. It's the Chick-fil-A kickoff. So there's 2 games. Actually, the other one is Monday night. The Clemson and Georgia Tech game is also being played in Atlanta. So not in Georgia Tech Stadium, even though they are in Atlanta. It's in the Falcon Stadium. So before we go to the next pick, I just want to one time, just promo Better Edge. We've talked a lot about their lines. I think a lot of time Better Edge has the best lines. It's not always, it's every book has, different lines. You can line shop. The one thing about Better Edge, though, is the juice. So normally, you see like a -110, -120 at different books. On Better Edge, you almost never see anything more than like a -105 or no juice at all. So you're not paying that big to the sports book. They're not getting rich off you by that. It's peer-to-peer betting. The lines are better. You can use our code. It's betteredge.com/5 reasons. That's going to get you a $20 sign-on bonus. You can take that $20. You can throw it on Andy's Bet the House special. You can fade some of my picks, whatever the heck you want to do with it. Join our competition. It's $20 from 5 Reasons Sports. Anytime you can get $20 from Ethan Skolnick, you better do something with it because it doesn't happen very often. So take his money, use that code, and we're going to jump right back into our picks. I'm going to go so I can get caught up to you guys. My next one that I have is Kentucky and Miami of Ohio. Kentucky, Miami of Ohio. I'm going over 52.5. I did this really just simply because I was trying to find an extra pick. And the reason I did that was I was looking at the money. Sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense to follow the money. This is about 90%, almost 90% on the over right now, according to the Action Network. So I'm just kind of following the steam. Better Edge had a better line than the other sports books. I think it was more like 53.5 or 54. So I saw that. I saw the better line. I'm just taking advantage of that. So Kentucky, Miami, Ohio, over 52.5. Anybody have anything on that one?
Nope, but I'm trailing that this week. I'll let you know that.
I like it. Let's have Tony go next.
In the state, Utah UF feels like another really good opportunity. Utah has had this offense that's come out and put up a ton of points. They were ranked 15th in the nation last year. And it's important to know that a lot of these squads are, really shifting out transfers, shifting out draft picks. So sometimes those elements don't translate, but they've had a put together coaching staff that's stayed together so far. Florida's a team I don't know about. I don't understand what they are, where they're going to be, or really what their construction is defensively at the moment. And beyond that, they're 3-10 against the spread in the last 13 games. So I'm taking Utah -3 here. I trust they're a better team, first of all, and that -3 line is great. If it was -3.5, I might be looking at a points total. If it was -4, I'd definitely be. But -3 is a really good number for Utah. They're just clearly a better team. And I think that they have 4.5 here, 5 points to really get Florida.
It didn't make my list, but it was like in my next ones to consider. I really like it. I think Utah's the better team. Florida gets a lot of respect just because of their name. It's kind of like, unfortunately, it's kind of like Miami and it's kind of like Florida State as we cover our other teams.
Like Miami, all they do is hate. So don't show me that, man.
Andy, do you got anything on that game, Utah and Florida?
Yes, sir. I'm actually, again, me and Tony always have differing opinions on these picks. I have Florida +3. Just looking at the historical data, Florida has won 4 straight season openers, and I know they want to get off the right foot in this new Billy Napier era. Florida has the better athletes, has home field advantage, and the Florida Heat is not going to be very welcoming to those UTs.
Good point.
Look out for the quarterback, Anthony Richardson. He's legit. However, if I am wrong and Tony is right, I would bet it's because of Utah's great defense. But I'm going with Florida on this one.
Utah's defense was pretty like league average last year, but I think that you're making a really good point because I think Florida's offense is also pretty league average.
We got a lot of controversy between you two.
Week
1, and you guys are already just butting heads. I love it. Let me go to my next one. I have a big dog here. I'm going with Troy +21.5.
Ballsy.
Troy is going to Ole Miss, so going up against Lane Kiffin. Former Ole Miss assistant, so I'm kind of going back to that again, where you have a connection to the team you're playing. It's his first season as a coach, so a lot of questions on that. Both teams are kind of unsure at quarterback, and so that's why I'm taking the points. Like when you have these college kids week one, not really sure, new coaches, new quarterbacks, I feel pretty confident with 21.5 points. Troy, you got those Alabama kids that are down in there, you kids that couldn't make it to your SEC schools, and I think you're going to have a little fight there. So I'm going to go Troy plus 21.5 at Ole Miss.
There's nothing like
you guys
of being rejected. I really like that storyline. When you want to go to school and they say you're not good enough for us, that just fuels you, bro. You kick their ass when you face them.
I didn't know where you were going to go with that story about maybe being rejected by women or that could be a different show. Maybe we can pilot.
I'm the one doing the rejections. Relax.
I like it.
That's why I'm married, by the way.
Yeah. We could be looking for a new co-host here pretty soon. Andy, you can go next. Go ahead.
All righty, brother. My next one is going to be what I love to do. You love to fade the fish. Sometimes I should listen to you on that. I love to fade the Longhorns. Texas versus UL Monroe. I got UL Monroe plus 37.5. First of all, anything above 30 is disrespectful. We've mentioned that before. And Texas is not Alabama. They're overhyped. They had a great recruiting class, a little inflated by Arch Manning and his 5-star rating. Does he deserve it? I don't think so. Last name does a lot for him. And a lot of those freshmen they signed this year, due to that oil money that they got going on in Texas, are not really going to contribute this year. So give me UL Monroe. That's what I'm going. Plus 37.5.
Big number there. I don't have anything on that game. Tony, you got anything on it?
No, I probably should have put something on it, but I don't.
Yeah, Texas is one of those programs, again, we keep talking about that. It kind of has that legacy name, but the results really haven't been there lately. So, Tony, go ahead. Go with your next one.
I love this theme of fading teams that we absolutely hate, and I'm just going to continue that trend, right? Ohio State, Notre Dame, 17.5, not enough. Not enough. 19, 22. I would have took the points with Ohio State any day on this line. I think the Irish are bad. And I really thought they were kind of bad last year, and they proved me wrong. I think about half the time. Like I really couldn't pick Irish games to the point that I stayed away from them. I really feel like this is one of those games. The Irish are clearly offended. You have coaches' comments in the media right now that 17.5 opening line was brutal for them, and they're going to come out and really play gassed up. And I think they will. I think that the Irish are going to try and run the ball at Ohio State. That's really the only place they can try and create an advantage and keep the game slow. So I don't know how I feel about the point spread. But Notre Dame 17.5, or Ohio State 17.5, I feel really good about. They're just gonna play them off the court, play them off the field for big portions of that game. Like even if the Irish can run the ball in sections, they're not going to be able to keep it up against Ohio State's size and speed. So I'm going to take them with 17.5.
Tony, if I could flip the 17.5 to 71.5, I would take it.
I would take it too. Week 1, I have to fade the Irish.
No, this is not advice for everybody.
No,
Edge does not condone.
This is revenge.
This is just
this is personal.
I'll tell you what. If I had 11 picks, my 11th pick would be Notre Dame plus 17.5. I really like Marcus Freeman. I think he's going to be a hell of a coach. I think he's going to do good things. This is number 2 versus number 5, but going to Ohio Stadium is tough. Ohio State's very good. They lost guys to the draft, but they just are one of those programs that reload every year. Their offense is great. My questions would be Notre Dame's offense. Can they keep up? I think Notre Dame's defense is going to be very, very good. Marcus Freeman is a defensive coach. I don't trust Notre Dame's offense enough to keep up with Ohio State, and that's why I didn't ultimately put it on my card. But that's Ohio State, Notre Dame, 2 versus 5. You have Georgia versus Oregon, we talked about earlier, 3 versus 7 or 3 versus 11. Those are really the 2 premier matchups, I think, this weekend that you want to watch. I think Ohio State is at 7:30 or 7 o'clock on Saturday night. So it should be a really cool atmosphere in Ohio Stadium. but I did not put that as one of my picks. Andy, did you have it on yours? Make sure my accounting's right.
No, I wanted to, but when my emotions get too involved in those games, I don't get involved. Notre Dame. I'm not kind of say a bad word, but I don't like Notre Dame. I don't like them.
We'll try to keep it family friendly here for just, for at least the time being. I'm going to go to my next one. I have another one from Thursday. Thursday night, I'm going Central Michigan this time. Central Michigan plus 21. They are playing at Oklahoma State. Central Michigan, another MAC team. Okay, so I'm going back to the MAC again. Return of the MAC, if you will. They have a huge advantage in terms of what they bring back in terms of their returning starters. Oklahoma State is replacing a lot of guys on defense, a lot of guys on offense. And so I just, again, think that returning advantage. I was reading an article today, again, on the Action Network about the advantage that certain teams have returning. Last weekend, a lot of us made some money. Greg Sylvander, myself, bet on that Hawaii and Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt had a huge edge in returning starters over Hawaii, and we capitalized on that. So that's why I'm going back again this time to a dog, Central Michigan plus 21 against Oklahoma State. Did either of you have anything on that game?
Yeah, I have the under on that matchup, and I think for a very similar reason. I think there's continuity that Central Michigan is going to present. That's going to bring this Oklahoma State team a little closer to them. I love taking Central Michigan there with the points. I just kind of trust the under to hit a little bit more. It's 59.5. That feels like a big number for this game. So I'm a little more confident on that under number than the points, but both of those are really bets. And honestly, if I had, a little bit more funds at my disposal this week, I would probably put a flyer on both of those.
I like it. You can use the code betteredge.com/5 reasons and get $20 from 5 Reasons Sports, but you have to be a new user. I've
already tried to make 5 accounts. They figured me out.
I was going to say, get that burner email out. Andy, go ahead with your next one. I think this is your 8th pick, maybe? Go ahead.
I believe this is my 9th and 10th I have. Because what happened to me, fellas, is I have 2 games on my list that the spread is not ready because both of these games are going to be such huge ass whoopings. So for my first one, Illinois State versus Wisconsin. You guys know me. Wisconsin is an offensive lineman factory. I love my big beefy white boys, and they're going to run up and down this Redbirds defense. So quite literally, whatever the over ends up being, take the over because they're going to run, and they're going to run like there's no tomorrow. Wisconsin is also going to win, by the way.
Okay, so you're going Wisconsin spread.
No, I'm going
Wisconsin
over. I'm going over.
Just over. Okay, I thought you were going Wisconsin.
The over's not ready, but whatever the over is, I'm confident with the over.
So, Tony, did you have anything on that game?
No, I don't.
I'm pulling up right now real quick.
Unless they just put the lines, because I just checked. I will hope they put
a lot of lines this week have moved, and like by 2 or 3 points.
So I'm actually looking on. I know Better Edge didn't have it posted yet. Let me pull up right now. I know this is great. Yeah, they've actually taken this down on a lot of books. So I don't know what. A lot of times that has something to do with injuries and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's also early in the week,
bro. They don't know how
it could be. It could be that too. So we will update that once we get a line on the over in that Wisconsin game. Tony, go ahead.
Do I have one left? Is that what I have left?
I believe you have one left.
I think that during Utah UF, I forgot to say I was also taking the over in that game.
Okay. So the Utah and Florida over. Do you have a number on that?
My God, man. I really wish I would have got numbers for you. I'll look it up, though, while you go.
All right. While he's doing that, I am going to stay in the state of Florida. It actually is a game where the top 25 team is also traveling to Florida. And it's also a team from Utah traveling to Florida, but it is not Utah. It is BYU, number 25 in the country, traveling to South Florida. South Florida is a home dog of 12 points, and I am going with USF plus 12. Both these teams return a lot of starters. It's actually the 2 most experienced returning teams in the country, USF and BYU. Home team plus 12 points. I would love to get it up to 14. I might try to fish around for that with Better Edge. Like I said, you can pick your own line and see if anybody will take the other side of it. The USF is going to have a lot of guys returning, but they have a new quarterback. Their quarterback is a transfer from Baylor. We know Baylor is an offensive powerhouse, so I'm going to trust in this new quarterback coming in. If I'm wrong about that, I probably lose the bet, but I'm going to trust the home team, USF, plus 12.
It was 51, so I'm going over 51.
Got it. Did anybody have anything on USF and BYU?
No, sir. I didn't have anything on that one.
It wasn't in
All
my
right,
card, but just like that one for you would have been an 11th, that would have been an 11th for me. I like USF plus 2.
So do each of you have one pick left?
I have one pick left.
Tony?
I think I'm tapped if I'm doing my
Okay.
math right.
Check your list. I have 2 left, so I'm going to go, and then I'll have Andy go after that. Another one that I have, another big dog, is Rice. Not brown rice, not white rice, just regular rice from Texas, plus 32.5. They are traveling to USC, going against USC. Another program, we keep talking about this, another program that is living off the fame of years past. They have not been good. They were 4-8 last year. Lincoln Riley's taken over as a new coach. I'm sure he wants to make a statement. 32.5 is a lot of points. Rice returns 3 threats on offense, including Christian McCaffrey's brother, Luke McCaffrey. And because his last name is McCaffrey, and he has a father that played in the NFL, and his brother is probably the number 1 pick in fantasy football, I don't know anything else about Luke, but I guarantee he's got to be good because of the last name. They also return their whole secondary. So you can see that we kind of get off the rails a little bit. And, we have good analysis, but we also have just we're just flying by the seat of our pants. So I'm going Rice plus 32.5.
If I may add to that,
Go ahead.
USC is not going to win by 30 points not once this season. That's take that line that
I like it.
Sean just gave you guys.
All right. So while we do that, Andy should be your last pick, 10th pick.
All right, so this is another one that we're waiting for the actual spreads and for the actual overs because it's going to be such a big ass whooping. Bethel Cookman at the University of Miami. My notes state the following 5 words. Whatever the spread is, go Miami. I don't care what the spread is. Plus 100, plus 60, plus 50. Go Miami. We're going to start this new era right. We're going to score. We're going to get turnovers. We don't need a chain no more. Our swag does the talking for us, brothers.
Will there be is there going to be a slot machine this year?
Why would you say that?
Have you seen the turnover slot machine?
Yeah, I saw it. I think what team was that? Was that Nevada or BYU? What was that?
I don't remember who it was.
I
did see it also.
I thought it was a little corny. They hate us because they ain't us. They want to copy us, whatever. But we're coming in strong this year. Tyler Van Dyke, Heisman hopeful, first-round draft pick on the way. This offense is going to blow up. This defense is going to blow up. Crystal ball back in Miami, brother. I am so hyped. Whatever the spread is, I don't care what it is. Go Miami.
I did hear Bethune-Cookman's bringing their band, so it should be a good entertaining part on their part of the band. Probably not so much with the football. But I like that pick. I have one left. Tony, do you have any left?
If I didn't give you 10, then my honorary 10th here is going to be Rice plus as well.
Got it. So my last one then, this is my 10th for sure, is UTSA. Do you guys know what their mascot is?
It's a dragon, right?
No, close. They are the Roadrunners. Beep, beep.
Oh.
And they are going to run the ball up and down the field. UTSA plus 4. They are hosting Houston. Did you like that? Special effects.
I did.
UTSA Roadrunners
Very accurate.
plus
You've been practicing.
4. I have been. Home dog against a ranked team. At home, I think that team, you got a little bit more of an edge. Inside of the state, UTSA, which is Texas San Antonio. Over-under in this game is 62 points.
Ooh.
So a lot of points are going to be scored. In those types of shootout games, give me the team that's getting the points, plus 4. Maybe it comes down to a field goal and I cover. Maybe UTSA wins straight up and I get those points and I'm winning. I should have taken the money line, but that's not what we're doing in this contest. So UTSA plus 4.
I like it.
All right, so as we close up shop, this is our debut episode. We're kind of working out the kinks. We'll figure things out as we go through. Moving forward, we'll have a guest every week. We have a couple really good guests planned already. We'll try to get some more engagement with you guys as we come in here in the chat, giving out your picks, your locks, all those different things. As I said, tomorrow morning, you can check out the competition on Better Edge. You just have to do what we did. Pick 10 games from the college football slate this week. Those lines will be posted. We'll all be using the same lines. Whoever picks the most out of 10, top 50% will be the winner. So if we have 100 people sign up, $10 a piece, that means there's $1,000 in the pot. Top 10 or top 50% will get $10. So 20, double your money. It's very, very easy. We'll switch up the competitions each week. Most importantly, no matter what you do, even if you don't join the competition, betteredge.com/5 reasons. Get yourself a $20 sign-on bonus. There is no, like tricks, anything like that. There's no sometimes when you deposit money in a book, you got to play 10 times your entry fee, all that crazy stuff to get cash. No, not like that. Better Edge, it's legal in 45 states. I've been all over the country this summer. It was legal everywhere I went, I think besides Idaho or Montana. One of those two states it didn't work. Who the heck's going out to Montana or Idaho anyways, right? Nobody. See, that nobody even responded.
Sorry to Montana viewers. He's not saying anything about you. He's saying about your state.
Apologize to you guys. So it's legal peer-to-peer betting. Make sure you check it out. NFL lines are up. College football lines are up. You can bet on WNBA, MLB, basically every sport, EPL. I took 2 big L's in the English Premier League today because I was bored trying to bet some money. Anyways, anybody got closing thoughts before we head out?
Look, there's no better ways to double your money than by playing in this competition, right? So make sure you come along with us. We're going to have a community going, a thread going. Join, right? A 50% chance on your return. I don't even think anybody in Vegas can give you anything close to that. So play with us on these competitions. I'm glad we're back.
It's been fun.
Andy.
It's been fun. It's going to be a whole season of fun, man. Like Tony said, it's easy. Who else can tell you have a 50% chance to get 50% of your earnings back, man? Don't forget the Bet the House special. If you want to make more than 50%, that's all I'm saying. Purdue, Penn State, under.
I like it. Next week, we'll be back on Thursday. Normally, this show will be on every Thursday. This week, with Labor Day weekend, we had a couple conflicts, so we had to move to Tuesday. Yeah. So next week, Thursday, we'll be back. And next weekend, we have NFL also. So we'll be talking about college football and NFL. It's going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to the fish behind Andy. And Manny, thank you for producing. And you can close us out.
Fade these fish, Sean.
They get more hits than the market.